Hi, this is Lisa, and this is the Three of Skeins Knitting and Crochet Podcast, episode number 79.
Okay, so we're a couple of dunces, and we just figured out that we can use this little Bluetooth remote we have to start and stop the video. Okay. Yay.
Yay. We were just like surprised it worked. Like, look at that. Technology.
Okay. Let's try to be grown-ups.
All right.
Now, Lisa.
Yes, Crystal.
You have a finished object.
I do. I finished my weekender sweater. I'm not putting it on. It is so warm that
we have our window open, and I think the neighbors are getting solar panels, so y'all gonna hear some noise in the background.
Yeah, there'll be a little bit of crashing and banging. But I have tried it on. I love it. I have not blocked it yet, but I will get to that this week, and I'll take some pictures. But I think overall it was an easy knit. I liked the instructions were great. It was easy to substitute in my own yarn. And I made one little change. I added thumb holes to the sleeves just for fun. Because I always like a thumb hole sweater. So I have the option to use a thumb hole or not. But this is going to be a steadily worn part of my fall wardrobe. I can already feel it. It's very cozy. It's almost like having a blanket on. Towards the end there, knitting on it was actually kind of uncomfortable because it was like having a blanket in my lap. So when it was at all warm, it was rough going. But overall, Lisa is very happy. I love the color. It's gonna fit in with everything else I wear. And that's it.
Lisa is third person happy.
Yes, Lisa is third person happy. I really like it. That's all I can tell you guys. Would I do this as a first sweater? Yeah, I think it was simple enough that it could be a first sweater because there's no shaping whatsoever, really. There's a little bit of short rowing, but you can get right past that. And if you did not want to do the tubular cast on and bind off like I did, the Italian cast on down here, because that's how you make it look like the ribbing doesn't have a beginning or end point. You see it's just got a nice smooth fold over. And I had to do a tubular bind off at the top. I don't know if that's is it focusing? Oh, okay.
There you go.
There we go. So by the time I was done with the sleeves, I was supposed to do a tubular bind off there too. Was not in the mood for it. I was like, you know what? I don't care. So I did Jenny's super stretchy bind off, which wearing distance doesn't look that much different than the rest of the sweater. I'll take a picture and insert it.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at that. So if you don't want to do the bind off at any point, don't be bothered. If you don't want to do the tubular cast on, you don't have to either. It's just a choice that you can make, to make your edges look a certain way if you wish. Always feel free to change those things. But otherwise, Lisa is very happy. And she's done. I gotta get this off my lap though. It's too hard. It's too hard to handle at this point in time. What's up with you, Chris?
I'm still working on my shawl, but I have a little bit of shawl stall happening because here's the thing. I really want to finish this quickly because I want to get on to my summer makes. This knitting a shawl right now was kind of an accident.
Okay, we had an accidental skirt, and now
we had a surprise skirt.
Yeah,
and an accidental shawl.
Yes.
But here's what I have so far, which I think is coming out very, very nicely.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But the thing is this: I don't think I have enough of the white left to do another big white section for the third section. So I haven't quite figured out yet what this third section is going to be because I want it to, go with what I have already.
Yeah.
But I'm playing a little bit of yarn chicken here. What I'm thinking to do is something with like I don't know if you can see this last row, I kind of started some horizontal stripes, and I thought that might be fun to kind of play off the vertical striping of the black and silver section. But even if I do that, I will need a little bit more white. So I think I'm going to rip this out, do a few more rows of white so I have a bigger section of white, and then see how those horizontal stripes look, because I don't like them blending up against the gray like this. But yeah, I mean, I should finish this. What's slowing me down is just making the decisions. Obviously, the stitching has been very, very simple. I really like how this is coming out.
It's
and
gorgeous.
Honestly, I think it looks way better than the shawl I was trying to make.
I do too. It's got more interest, more pizzazz.
Yeah, and I love the speckled yarn. This color is called 101. Because, you know, it's white with black spots.
Well.
But yeah, overall, it's all linen stitch. It's very simple, and it's as soon as I figure out what's coming next, I'll be able to finish it. But yeah, that's my whip. She's whipping along.
I started something.
Lisa has a whip.
I have a whip.
And you're like going pretty fast on this one.
Yeah. I've been working. I told you guys I got interested in one of the patterns in this book, Knitting Lingerie Style. It's called the Shape Lace Tee in the book. On Ravelry, it's called the Katia Tee, I think. I'll put it in the description bar, the Ravelry name, because you won't be able to find it otherwise.
Ravelry's kind of a stickler for exactitude.
Oh, good grief. I got this yarn. This is Lina from Sanders Yarn on the Wool Walk, and I've kind of been a little tiny bit obsessed with it. And this top was my absolute perfect occasion to use it. So it's gonna look like this. You know, putting that bookmark in, it really does. You know, that works so well. Ah, here we go. It's going to be a lacy t-shirt with waist shaping. And this is what I've got so far.
So this is just the front, and you'll do the same thing again?
Yeah. Well, technically, I think this is the back, but it's the same front and back, essentially, except for the neck shaping. But I've got a good few inches going. And as always, actually, I'm using my barber cords to make my plumb line, so I always measure in the same spot. It has made my measuring so much more accurate. And the lace is actually a very simple lace. It's a 2-row repeat, and the bottom lace is a 4-row repeat, and you do it for 3 inches and then you're done with it. So this has been actually very, very simple to knit. Oh, and I got to use my Wool Walk stitch markers too, my little dragon eggs. They were so cute. Yeah, I can't do it. I'll put a picture and I can't do it. But this yarn, OMG, it is lightweight. It actually feels cool. You know, linen feels cool to the touch. It feels cool to the touch because there's some linen in it. There's viscose, and it's mostly cotton and linen and viscose. And there's like 14% linen at the end there. But I think it's gonna be absolutely wonderful to wear. So I can't wait. I think I'll actually be done with this in some reasonable amount of time.
I think so too.
I had wanted to do an edge detail. Oh, here it is. So I did a tiny swatch because I forgot to cast on with my Hapu yarn. And we're all like, I don't know. So I didn't do it as the cast on, but I might apply it after the fact as an applied edging. Because, interestingly enough, the neckline is finished all the way around with a row of single crochet.
Oh.
So I might do that on the bottom.
Oh, that'll look cute.
And with this thick and thin yarn, it'll have some texture to it too. So I might just pick up a little row of single
I
crochet
approve.
all along. I appreciate your approval. So that's where I am with my latest whip. So we have some
She buttoned
confessions
the yarn.
in it. just roll over on me. Dang.
Dime dropped.
Okay. Snitches get stitches. Whoa. Well, you know how we told you guys about discontinuedyarn.com? That's discontinuedyarn.com. I'm on their mailing list. So I got an email last week.
I have to unsubscribe from mailing lists like that. Otherwise, bad things happen in these small hours when resistance is low.
Yeah, well, mine happened early in the morning.
Well, she's fully alert, so I don't know what the excuse is.
Like, you see, what happened was they had a twofer sale going on, and I twofered a couple of things.
Mm.
So my first yarn acquisition.
Look at this, y'all.
It's gorgeous. Look at this. The color is called Hot Chocolate Lava something. Yeah, chocolate lava. I just think it's hot. Look at that. Ah, look, I almost got it to focus. Yay.
Okay.
It's called chocolate lava,
Isn't
but it's got the chocolate tones I like. It's got a bit of green, and it's got this little pop of fuchsia. I'm adoring it. So this
Is it
I believe they say it's 5 stitches to the inch. So to me that is a worsted, but it's not the heaviest worsted in the world. I made some notes.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no. Why would I do that? Okay, it's called Cafe Streak, and like I said, the color is chocolate lava, and it's a hand-dyed yarn from Trendsetter, and it worked out to $7.70 a skein. And this is a really luxurious blend of yak and silk. So it has, I don't know, I always like the way yak feels when they mix it with anything. It has like this velvety texture that I really, really love. And then, you know, since it's summer, I got some of this. The color is called Water Waves. Love the blues and greens. I'm trying to work out how to do it, you know. I love the blues and greens, and this is a blend of cotton and linen. It's like 32% cotton and 68% linen. And this is a worsted weight. Mm-hmm. And I have plans for it already. I do. I absolutely do.
That would be a fun, like, beachy top.
It's going to be a skirt.
I think it was going to be a skirt. They're both going to be skirts. I thought the yak was going to be a skirt.
Oh, maybe. That one's still in flux.
Okay.
I had another idea this morning. So.
Okay, because you showed me a skirt yesterday.
Yeah. And then I had this other idea. And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So I think I'm going to make this skirt only shorter.
Fit and flared trumpet skirt.
Yes, the fit and flared trumpet skirt.
So is she wearing another skirt underneath, or does she sew a lining?
I think she's wearing a slip.
Okay.
That's made to show. But I'm thinking this skirt will look really cute in this summery kind of blue-green situation. And
yesterday was the other yarn that was going to be the skirt, so
yeah,
it may be something else next week.
No. I think it's set because okay, here's what happened.
What happened?
I did a sketch, right? And in the sketch, for my top, the skirt I put with it was blue and green.
Okay.
And I got stuck with that in my head.
These two might be an outfit top you're making now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
I'll give you guys a little sneak
Is this
preview
your
of the
first
sketch.
skirt?
Yeah. I have not skirted before.
And did you make it skirt blue and green in the picture because you were looking at that yarn? Or that just happened?
That just happened.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's the blurry sketch. I'll put it, I have a picture of it. I'll put it in.
Okay.
I'm not going to try that anymore. Sorry, guys. I don't know. I can't get it. I can't get the focal length right. So I was. Okay, go get it. Keep talking. I'll keep talking. But I think I'm so looking forward to wearing these two things because the liner feels absolutely wonderful. It's just like, wow. I think it's going to be the thing I reach for most often as the summer gets hotter and hotter. And this also, because it has that linen content, it has that cool to the touch feeling. So what I'm going to do is do a swatch and see what size needle will give me the most cohesive fabric, because I prefer not to wear a see-through skirt. And that way I won't have to do a lining for it, because I'm hoping to make it very, very breezy, let's just say. And those... Oh, I'm going to be doing this so that I don't have to do a lining, because I want it to be as breezy as possible. Oh, I see it all too clearly.
So, last year, I made this bag, which I'm still like super in love with. My initials on it. But I bought this bag bottom. Actually, my mom bought some bag bottoms online. And I love the little feet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got me, thinking bags. So, Universal is a distributor for this Danish brand that I've been calling Mud.
It's actually Mood. I just found out myself.
It's MUUD. I'll probably still call it Mud. But they sell some bag making. They sell like handmade leather bags and notions cases and things like that. Mm-hmm. But they also sell some bag making supplies. So I got a couple more bag bottoms. And this is genuine leather. See, there's the brand on there. Yep. Aha. So I got this bag bottom, and because I've been thinking I really wanted to make a round bag, and I got this one. Also, it's just a rectangular shape, and then I got a handle. So this handle is going to go with the round bag. So it just has those little
all the little clips.
Yeah, the lobster claw. Yeah. And I'm gonna, put some rings on there and attach the rings to the bag, and then just hook the lobster claw on. But for this bottom, I got a set of like 2 handles because it's a rectangular bag, so I think one on either side makes more sense. But those were pre-ordered, so I won't have those until like sometime next month. But I'm gonna make a couple bags.
Exciting.
So I haven't picked my yarn yet. I've been thinking about linen because I want something, a little rugged, a little durable.
Yeah.
But linen also gives great stitch definition.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited. But yeah, Universal. Okay. Oh, they smell nice. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got last week.
Mm-hmm. So, what happened was this?
This was your fault. Okay, here's what happened. She sent me a link to a blog post someone had done listing crafty thrift stores. And there turned out to be one store that was in Philadelphia, which is like less than 30 minutes from us. Mm-hmm. So it was your fault. You found the article.
What? I forgot where that article was. So send me back that link and we can include it in the description bar. That way anybody wants to can check them out.
So once we saw that there was one like nearby. we made plans to like go check it out. So it's called the Resource Exchange.
Yeah, the Resource Exchange Center.
Yeah. And where it is, like, we took an Uber because I wouldn't want to drive over there. It's like a warehousey kind of area, and then there's so much construction going on because it's kind of, I guess it's gentrifying.
Yeah.
There was this one pothole we went through that literally, like, the front of the car went down.
Yeah, the guy went so slow.
He was like,
the car went down. Let's walk this car down this hole and walk up the other side.
And it was terrible. So I was really glad we didn't drive. But it looks like the whole little, like, bank of shops over there is going to be like a really cute thing. There's a restaurant opening up over there. So someplace I would like to get back to.
Absolutely.
But they have some stuff, y'all. First of all, they have like a little bit of everything. So they have housewares, they have scrapbooking paper, they have jewelry making supplies, they have yarn and fabric and stuff. But you know, we were interested in specific things.
Yeah, and they even sell furniture and that sort of thing. So what they want to do is provide materials for artists of all kinds that, you know, money might prevent them from having access to. So if you want to donate something, because I want to put that out there, they get all their stuff for donations. So if you have yarn you're not using, if you have art supplies that you know you're never going to get back to, that's a great place to send them.
We caught the tail end of yarn donation, and then I
don't think about what could have been.
Man, I know. I feel like if we got in there like 2 weeks earlier,
yeah,
don't found. But what we found was okay. I mean, I'm happy, but is it called FOMO when you actually missed out? I think I just have FOMO. I just missed out. Like, it's not just a fear. This actually happened. But we each got some yarn. What do you?
Yes. I'm looking up a yarn that I saw when we went to Loop because they also had it at the Crafts Exchange.
They did?
Yes. Hang on a minute. I'll remember the name.
Okay, but we're not up to.
Okay, go.
All right, so we got some stuff. So I got this. This is an extraordinarily fine crochet thread.
Oh, wow.
The brand is called Lily, and it's Daisy Mercerized Cotton. Apparently, some yarn artist retired, and she just donated a bunch of her stuff to this place. And this is 400 yards, and I have 10 of these. And it was $35 for the 10, so basically $3.50 each. But this is something that I could definitely, it's so fun. I could hold it with something else, which is what I am planning to do. And it's this beautiful neutral color, and I couldn't be more excited about it because I have some number 10 crochet cotton, which is, you know, a specific weight. It's thicker than this.
Yeah, that's a number 20.
Yeah, this
20 is finer than 10.
Incredibly fine. Oh, yeah, there it is. And I had thought about messing with the finer weights, but I was scared. But then I found this, so.
The guys threw some in your lap. They're like, yeah, mess with that.
And then, now here's what's funny. I just watched this podcast called Philemon, and the podcaster is named Felicia. She's a knitter, and she just went to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and she found this woman who sells yarn that she reclaims from sweaters. And I found what I think is some of that. This is... Oh, I get it.
Oh, there you go.
Look at that. Also incredibly fine, but this is silk and cashmere. Is it 70? Yeah, it's 70-30 silk and cashmere, and I definitely have enough for like a sweater or something. I'm thinking I'm going to do something like maybe lacy with it. Maybe I can hold it with the crochet cotton. Maybe I can hold it with a sequin yarn. I don't know. I'm all over the place in terms of like what I might want to do.
You're
with
totally
it,
open to everything.
but it feels amazing. And I'm just, there was more. They actually had some hand spun too, but you know, the budget.
How many yards did you end up with total?
I'm not sure exactly. I want to say I have something around 1,000 yards. This has gotten me wanting to go to the thrift store to look for sweaters.
I know it does. We all get that feeling, girl. We all get that feeling.
Just at least once to
Mhm.
see, like, because most of the sweaters are not like suitable for this, but
Yeah.
you know, that one gem that you might find. So there's that. Then I got some fabric too. I got this stuff, which is some sort of synthetic something, probably like a rayon,
Yeah.
but it's got a beautiful sheen to it. I like sheen. Some people are like anti-sheen, but this is definitely enough for like a dress or something. But then I got this tulle that happens to be a very close color, and I want to do like something with a tulle overlay because that's just a look that I like. But I don't have the skills to do any of the stuff I'm talking about right now. Just, you know,
She's working on
all of my sewing plans have a huge asterisk. And then this is 100% silk. And yeah, it's got like little slubs in it. And yeah, what fabric? I didn't mean to. It just happened. But they have like so much. And they have a lot of like upholstery fabric too, if that's like the thing. But yeah, I quite enjoyed what I found. Lisa got stuff too. It wasn't just me. And
Wow.
Mom got some jewelry making supplies.
You made it sound like, yeah, I'm giving her up.
Why are you under the bus with me, okay?
I see that.
It's lonely.
Oh, you know what you forgot? Your skirt measurer.
Oh, I sure did. It's this funny thing. I will maybe put a picture in.
Yeah.
But it's basically a base with a stick out of it, and it has measurements on it so that you can measure the length of your skirt. Except the stick for me, it comes up to like just under my knee, so it can't be used for like short skirts. But if you want to make like big voluminous things, you can use it to measure the hem of your skirt. And apparently there was a version of this that involved chalk and walk around it. And
yeah, it had a bulb, and you could spray chalk on the edge of your skirt, you know, marking where you wanted it to be, and it would already be marked when you took the skirt off to hem it.
But I just thought it would be like a fun. I have like this fantasy of like a workroom with all these like vintage crafting tools in it, and so this is the start of my future workspace.
Gotcha. I got some stuff too.
Yeah, she did.
One of the things I'm really excited about is finishes. So I got these beautiful leather buttons. Yeah, you do it. Oh yeah, that's it. I got several sets of those. These buttons cost for the set less than $1. All of the buttons I got. They range from 75 cents to the most expensive set was this, and they were 89 cents for I think the 6. I can't beat that anywhere. And I also got these buttons that are leather covered, and these are also leather covered buttons, and the other ones are metal, but I just love them. And I'm planning to do some jackets over the course of the year, so I will have beautiful buttons to put on them. So as I was digging through the baskets and bins, this jumped out and leapt into my arms. This is hand spun Australian possum and merino. It's 645 yards, and it actually originally came from someplace called the Hand Weavers of Bucks County. I don't know if they have a store or if it was some sort of commission. I don't know what the
They had a lot of
provenance
stuff
was.
from the Hand Weavers, and
But oh my god, it feels so good.
it feels
feels
behind.
wonderful. It was also hand dyed. So first the person who made it dyed it with indigo, and then they over dyed it this maroon color. So every once in a while you see a little bit of the indigo peeking out. So the color is complex, and I love that. So this was $70, but I feel like it was totally worth every penny of that. And I have an idea. Exotic fiber. And this I came across. This is cute. This is one of the rarer fibers, and I'm destroying this. I'm gonna have to give this a new plastic bag. But apparently this is the original packaging. It came from someplace called Down North, the Kivute Company. I Googled to see if they were still around, and I can't find any trace of them on the internet. But this is Kivute. This is from the fur of the Arctic muskox. And it's some pretty costly fiber. This is about somebody, apparently somebody did a project with it, and this must be their leftovers. Um, this is about 58 grams of it, and it looks to be about a fingering weight. So I'm going to think about this and figure out what exactly I want to do with it. I'm kind of in love, and this bag of Kivyu cost me $3. So I couldn't leave it there. I was tempted to because it was just this little bit of yarn, but I was like, when are you going to get to Alaska to get you some Kivyu? But that's all I got, because good Lisa.
You have a bunch of stuff. Oh my God.
That's all I got. But I'm really in love, and like I said, I'm already thinking about what to do with this. This is 645 yards. It's not enough to do a full garment for me, but
If you combine it with
I
the
could color
contrast
block.
yarn,
That's what I'm thinking. Yep, I could color block it into something, and I want this to be the main part that touches my skin, because okay, give that a feel.
Yeah, it's nice.
So we shall see what this becomes. As you see, I got a lot of plans. Hoop dreams, as they say. Hoop dreams.
Then we went to, so there's this yarn store in Philadelphia called Loop, and as long as we've lived in this area, we haven't made it over there.
Mm-hmm.
So we finally decided to just go check out Loop, because it was like, what, 20 minutes from?
Yeah, by car, about 20 minutes from the resource exchange.
So I got just a little bit of yarn there. Okay. I got this from Malabrigo, obviously purple, y'all know. But this is, I believe, 100%, 100% baby merino, lace weight, 470 yards. And this was $10. Each of these was $10. Squish. Oh my gosh. But yeah, they only, in this color, they only had these 3 skeins, so I just went ahead and snapped them up. I could even hold them with my cotton, if I like. I have another lace weight yarn, though, that I might hold it with. But yeah, it feels incredible. The colorway was gorgeous. When I didn't actually intend to buy anything at Loop, but then this happened.
Yeah, all I got at Loop was the new Noro magazine.
Oh yeah,
and I like what I saw.
Magazine. They're like, the colors are so vibrant, and they do. I feel like they do basic shapes, but the yarn just kind of enlivens anything you make.
I was just about to say that the simple shapes really showcase the color. So you guys might want to take a look at that. There's some really kind of cool things in there that
Should
I think
subscribe to Noro magazine.
I don't know that you can.
Really?
I don't think you can.
Oh dear.
Because I've looked. I was like, oh, but
Speaking of magazines.
Yeah. Sad news, guys.
Crochet magazine is closing because for some reason they have an exclamation point at the end of their name. So
you're very excited.
The Crochet magazine is closing. So after losing Interweave, I feel like losing Crochet magazine is just a devastating blow, because these magazines did have some really nice garments, and I feel like a lot of people kind of assume, look, we're just going to talk about it for a second.
Okay.
There's this weird, like, ugly core aesthetic in crochet that people just seem to really be excited about, and the stranger, the more ill-fitting, the wilder the garment gets, the more people are excited about it. And you know, if that's your thing, cool. If you like the ugly doll version of clothing, that's fine. But that's not my thing, and I feel like that is kind of people's dominant image of crochet when they think about it. And so magazines like Interweave Crochet and Crochet magazine showed something else, And so people who had digital subscriptions to Crochet Magazine, their digital subscription will be finished out with issues of Crochet Today. And I have a few old issues of Crochet Today magazine, and it's all right, but it's not you're not getting the same thing. It's not equivalent exchange.
See, my mom was telling me about this. She told me it was Crochet World, and I was like,
oh,
not
no.
Crochet World.
It is.
Oh.
It is Crochet World. Yeah. No, you're not getting Crochet Today.
No.
My bad. It's Crochet World.
Because I was like, oh no, that's not equivalent at all.
Yeah. Because Crochet Today actually has like some okay pattern. You know, Crochet Today is one of those magazines that has everything. It has clothes, it has blankets, it has dog clothes. And I just really wish Crochet magazines would focus a little more on at least things for people and not pets. But yeah, no, it's not Crochet Today. Oh, it's Crochet World. My bad. Because, yeah, Crochet World is something else. But yeah, we're just losing our crochet magazines, and it's tough. And the thing is, you know, we were talking about the fact that just taking a paper magazine and making a PDF copy doesn't mean you're answering the needs of a digital audience.
No.
And I think that's what a lot of magazines are learning right now, that it's just not enough to put paper in a digital format. That is not what a digital audience is looking for. For one thing, they're looking for to see content more often, and what you're doing with PDF files is just slowing down digital production to the pace of paper production. So to get this magazine like every other month, or if even that, it's not enough. And then to not support that in any way with, you know, social media or YouTube or anything like that. I mean, some publications, they try for a little while and they kind of give up. And I get it, you know, social media blows. But it's also how you find people.
Even if they didn't want to do like a full blast social media campaign for each and every issue, put it out and crowdsource that.
But they still need to, between issues, that is the problem. Between issues, there needs to be ongoing communication and engagement. Like, you know, when we had the store, I would just post stuff we were doing, like, oh, new yarn came in, or like one time we had a bridal party come into the yarn store because they just had a little civil ceremony and they were doing their reception at the Mexican restaurant next door, and they came in and bought some yarn from us. I would try to just tell stories about our day in the yarn store. And if you are not only, you know, trying to sell patterns, but really trying to impact what people are thinking about crochet, you need to be having that conversation with them all the time, whether it's just showing what you're personally working on, or asking questions, or just saying, hey, I stuff like, I watched this movie while I was crocheting, and you know, whatever. None of the magazines were really active online like that.
But you know what? I think that's a flaw in the publishing industry in general, because they do not communicate
directly. They were
directly
hostile to digital, really.
And they don't communicate with the audience. They never had to communicate with the end user, and they still don't want to. They want their BEA back. So that is a flaw of paper magazines.
And I think that is the main way you grow your reach too, because, you know, foot traffic and bookstores is going now. I don't know, where have we seen a news thing lately?
Oh, good Lord.
Where you would just pick up magazines. So if you want to direct people to your paper, you still need a digital presence to do that. And no one seems to be willing to make the effort. We talked last week about the Crochet Guild, and
oh yeah,
like, what is going on?
Did any of you guys go over and look at their Instagram?
Like, they are asleep at the wheel.
You know who's doing a better job than most of the other magazines? Pom Pom is.
Yeah,
Pom Pom does a better job.
But Pom Pom originated in this digital era, so that was kind of part of their
growth.
Pattern from the very beginning.
Pom Pom does a much better job with it. I'm trying to think who else. I think they're really the ones that do the best, because Vogue is one of the older magazines, but I don't know. Um, they're not a go-to for me to check out on social media. You know, so
Which is surprising. Do they have separate accounts for the magazine and Vogue Knitting Live? Because I would think with all the Vogue Knitting Live events they would do, they would want to be talking about them a lot.
they do have a separate account for Vogue Knitting. They do.
I don't know that I would do that. I think I would have one account.
I don't
just
know
so
if
you have
they're
more to talk
all one
about.
company, really. You know what I mean? They
No,
have separate staff.
Yeah, they are. Self-Hold Publishing is
Yeah,
the parent
if that's the
company for Vogue.
umbrella, but sometimes, you know, within it's
Yeah,
like
but
separate.
communicate with each other. Okay?
I don't know. But I wish that publishing companies embrace digital fully and let paper be its own thing and let digital exist as a thing of its own, not reflecting, oh, well, here's a digital piece of paper. That's what they want to hand you, is a digital piece of paper. And it doesn't have to be like that at all.
Or a stitch chip.
Or a stitch chip.
But I'm just the UK Crochet magazine seems to still be going strong. I don't know if having a US audience is helping to boost them, or if these magazines are just more popular in the UK than our magazines were here in the US. But I also find their magazines a little bit more on the kitschy side, and they tend to include a lot more amigurumi, which is just not my thing.
But on the knitting side, the British magazines always include household objects. They always include, I told you, the tea cozy. There's a tea cozy in every single British magazine. They include toys. So they don't segment the audience by people who don't make garments and people who do make garments.
Yeah, the crochet
there will be
neither, but
a lot of garments. There'll be a lot of garments, but there will also be at least one or two other things in most of them. The only and I can't say if it's British or European. The only European magazine that I know of that doesn't include really much of any of that stuff is The Knitter. And Verena used to be, but I haven't seen a Verena in years.
Are you all subscribing to magazines or following them online? Like, where are you on the whole magazine question? Because for me, part of the issue was that I wasn't using patterns, so it just didn't make sense for me to keep subscribing to magazines.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping the paper ones that I have because, I was just looking through them and I was getting some ideas about things I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's just a place to see a lot of people's ideas all at once.
It's a place to get inspiration. Even if you don't make that exact thing, it's a place where you can say, oh, wait a minute, there's an idea, or it might spark a new idea of your own. Sometimes a color combination, it's like, oh, I would have never thought about putting those colors together, but it looks great.
But it's just frustrating. I know this is just a weird time right now to run a business, to try to sell things to people. It's just a very weird time. But I feel like, in particular, the craft industry and within the craft industry, crochet is just struggling.
Yeah.
And I hope we'll come out of this. But I don't know how. I don't know who's going to be willing to take those first steps, because people,
or who will be able to. I mean, because a lot of things cost money. Like, if you want to have a lively social media presence, you need to be paying somebody to do your social media.
Or just putting a lot of time into it.
Yeah. And that takes away time that you have to be doing other things. So if you're a one-man band,
and then
that's hard.
Social media doesn't just help you it doesn't just amplify your message. It is it's constructing the message for you. So when I just looked at crochet on TikTok again. It's not the thing to do. Like, don't do it. It seemed like this one thing over and over again on repeat.
Yeah.
And that is making things really, really fast and making like a small square and then strapping it to you with some strings. And I'm just like, that's not all there is. You know what I don't see represented? Like the Russian and Eastern European crocheters, because they are doing some stuff.
Well, TikTok in particular is funny. if you look at one thing, that's all it feeds you. So you have to actively seek out.
But if you just put in crochet clothes, you would think some of that would just
Right,
come
but
out.
you get the what's at the surface, and if you look at that, you keep getting that. TikTok in particular is terrible with that. It's very hard to change what you see on your TikTok unless you actively curate your feed.
Mm.
So if you look at one bra top,
Social media isn't necessarily craft friendly.
no, it isn't. It isn't, and not for exploring ideas.
Especially because I think the crafter is not social media's ideal customer. They're looking for people who want one thing.
Right.
But crafters tend to, even if they only practice one craft, they tend to
Mhm.
appreciate and take ideas from lots of other crafts. So,
Right.
you know, you knit, you paint, you do embroidery, you sew, you know, you tend to be a little bit all over the place. And it can be very hard to train your social media to show you different things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but
After, you know, decades of training people to niche down.
I
on
can't
the
tell
internet.
you how I have had to kind of massage my TikTok. Because that's the other thing. I don't only want to see one thing. You know, I have a very scattershot approach to, I see the gestalt. Okay, I don't see trees, I see a forest. And I want to be able to wander through the forest and see different things.
I just don't know what's gonna happen. But
Oh, we lost it. I tell you, we lost another dyer, trailhead.
oh
yarn.
god. Oh yeah. We went to her trunk show and she doesn't do any wool. And I like that. And we both got some tinsel and I can't take anymore. I can't. I'm just I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm just
Well, I, for one, am going to like really explore using more of what I already have, and if I make that my
I
limitation,
understand your concept.
if I make that my limitation, I think it's going to force my creativity out.
The thing is that I feel like I am constantly coming up with new ideas, with new things that I want to try within crochet, and sometimes I don't have the yarn for that idea.
Yeah.
And it can be hard.
I'm not making a hard, fast rule because, you know, my head gets turned. I'll tell you the truth.
And then you end up with yak.
And then I end up with some yak, yes. But I think that that's where I want my focus to be. I tell you what, the most helpful thing I just did was put all my magazines in the raffle, because now I know exactly what I have in terms of patterns, at least on the magazine front. I got to do my books next. But I went back to this book for the first time in years, and now I'm not just going to make one thing out of it, I'm going to make a second thing out of it, because it turns out I already have lots and lots of patterns.
No, we don't.
And sometimes when you go back to it, you're like, hey, it's years later and I still like this thing. I should make it. So I think that's going to be an answer, at least from the crafter side of things. And it's going to really help me explore, well, what do I really like, rather than having social media tell me what I'm supposed to like at this moment. Because weren't we watching the video yesterday where someone was learning, she learned this 2-step formula for getting dressed on TikTok, and I'm like, what?
That to me just looks like putting on clothes.
Yeah, she put on clothes, right? She put on a pair of jeans and a top.
Put on 2 casual things and 2 smart things.
And when she went from casual to smart, she took off her baseball cap and put on a belt, and I was like, oh. I got up and went somewhere. I don't know how the video ended up, but I just think that once you explore your own collection of things, it really reflects back to you what your real interests are, rather than just following trends. If there are trends you like, of course, follow and indulge, but there's got to be a backbone among all your things that tells you what you really, really like. Turns out I like lace.
Okay, we've been going on today.
We have.
Really, it's a good time to.
We have thoughts.
Yeah.
We have thoughts. Anyway, if you guys want to talk to us about any of the things we mentioned, let us know. I can't wait to hear what you guys are thinking about where this craft world is going right now. Where does it go next? Anyway, thank you for spending some time with us. We'll see you next week.
Stay stitching.